What would happen if I read the highest rated books that I currently have on my shelves according to Goodreads? I recently organized them by read versus unread, so it's time to test a bunch of fun challenges. Last month I did the opposite and I read the lowest rated ones, and honestly it went really well. So if anything, it makes me more nervous for this one, because what if I don't agree with the highest ratings? While that downloads, I'm gonna say I'm adding one rule, because I feel like this challenge might be series heavy, because of course if you've read book 1 and you're going to book 2, you've enjoyed the previous one. So a series normally keeps getting higher and higher ratings. So what I'm going to do is that it has to be the next one in the series. So if book 5 got a super high rating, but I'm only at book 2, I'm not reading it, we're continuing. So hopefully that balances out, because otherwise I'm going to read a ton of series this week. So some books that are not out. Okay, that doesn't count. Ooh, shit. The first one that I haven't read is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Okay. The rating is 4.65. That is ridiculously high. Let me see how many ratings that is. Over 2 millions? That is a crazy high rating. Okay. It is a World War II book, though. Let's grab it. Historical fiction is going to be on here. I know it's a hard cover. There it is. This book has been on my shelf for probably 10 years, no joke. When I first started watching Booktube, I saw it everywhere with a lot of other books that were World War II, and I started reading all of them except this one. I have yet to. But the thing is, I feel like I said jokingly, but I kind of meant it, that I was done with World War II stories, because so many of the ones that I read, I did not end up loving. And then the last one I read was The Tattooist of Auschwitz, which I thought it was straight up offensively badly written. But they have high ratings, and I swear I feel like at least some people give it 5 because they feel the pressure to. I felt like a monster not to give them 5-star, because of course it's sad. Like, these events are going to be sad, and I feel like some authors, to compensate for their lack of skills, they take something that of course is going to be emotional, right? So that's kind of why I said I wasn't going to read more of them, but I was always willing to read the ones on my shelf. Like, I read Atonement, not knowing it was World War II, and I liked it, so it's fine. So I'm going to be reading this. I'm curious if I'm going to give it 5-star too, like everyone else. All I remember, again, is World War II, and I think it's Sisters. That's it. So we'll see. This is the first one I'm going to read. Let's pick a second one right now, because it's big, but it's not that big. It's sweat. Like 440 pages, so I can definitely read at least another one. I'm still nervous it's going to be a series. So the next one I'm seeing is Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. See, that's book 4 in the Stormlight Archive, and I have yet to finish book 3, so I can't read that. Then the next one that I'm seeing, oh, nope. We got us a series. We have The Hunger of the Gods, the second book in the Bloodsworn saga. I have read book 1. I do own book 2. Okay, let's grab it. My fantasy bookcase, and it's a big white, there you go, paperback. So a big chunky one. This one is what? 600 and something pages. Okay. The reason I'm nervous, I feel like this is going to become a controversial video now. I wanted to find 5-star books, and I picked 2 books I'm really unsure about that are on my shelf, have been on my shelf for years. So I read book 1, and I did like it. I want to make that clear. I gave it 4-star, but I feel like everyone loved it and I just liked it. And it's been, once again, years. 2022. So it's been on my shelf. I think I bought it pretty early after it was released. So it's been a while, and I feel like I don't know why I didn't love it as much as everyone else. So I guess I'm about to find out this week. I'm hoping it was a fluke. Sometimes you read a book and it's just not the right timing, so maybe that's what happened. I just remembered the disconnect. I remembered that I liked the magic system, the world building, and I wondered why or how anyone made it to adulthood, because it was a very harsh world. Norse inspired? I keep calling them Vikings, but Norse. We'll see. I'm terrified of that size. I'm actually reading 2 big books this week. 2 books that had been on my shelf for a while that I wasn't going to pick up this week if it weren't for this challenge. So I'll find out if this one is worth the hype. 2 millions rating. That's crazy. And how I truly feel with this series, if I want to continue or not, basically. So let's do this. I read the first 3 chapters out of curiosity. I wanted to see how I was going to feel about the writing style, because I did read one book by her, The Great Alone. I had actually liked the book until the end. Like the last quarter, she kind of lost me a little, but I had enjoyed overall, and I wanted to read more by her, but her books are so popular that sometimes it makes me feel like I might not feel the same. Like I've seen, is it Four Winds and The Women? I've seen them, but I knew I had this one on my shelf and I wanted to read this before, you know, getting more of hers. And so far I'm liking the writing, and I wasn't crying, but you know, for a second my eyes were stinging a little bit because at the end of the 3rd chapter, the father is going to war and, you know, promise you're going to come back. Okay, it got to me, of course. But one thing I'm curious about is that it starts chapter 1 in 1995, and you're following an older woman who was alive at the time. And now I wonder, which sister are you? Because it's purposely being vague. So I'm hoping that the author is a twist at the end. She's going to still be alive, the other one too, but probably not. I am worried. Like 3 chapters in and I'm worried. So the author did her thing. Obviously emotionally invested right away. I feel like, see, I was saying the other one, I don't know how I'm going to feel. Some authors, they just work for you better than others. Like I'm thinking Blood of a Bright Haven, for example. Chapter 1, invested. If you've read it, you know, like right away. So let's see how that goes. I owe you an update because I finished a book a few days ago. I just wanted some time to, you know, gather my thoughts, stop crying. I recorded my reaction. Actually, I'm going to insert, I have 2 updates. This was like 70 pages left into the book. I was doing pretty good. I was sure I was going to finish the book without crying. I'm still not done. You know, I had like teary eyes a couple times, but then I got to that scene and yeah, I'm done crying though, so I can keep reading. Right, that happened. And this was me when I was done. I just finished a book and I would like to say that I hate absolutely everyone that has ever recommended it to me because I'm crying on the internet now. Charlie is worried. How dare you make Charlie worry? So if you are not one of the 2 million people that has already read this book, don't read it, okay? Because you're going to look like a mess and you're going to worry your pet. So can't do that. So that's why I needed some time, okay, in between the update, because I was mad at everyone that told me I needed to read this, because why would you do this to me? I was clearly emotionally invested. I will say, I haven't checked actually negative reviews, but we have an expression in French, at least in Quebec, that we say, the author en ne beurre pas. Like she laid it on thickly. She wanted to make sure it was going to hurt, and it did, okay? It worked, but I feel like negative reviews are probably saying that she laid it on a little too thickly, but if it works, it works, and clearly, I shed a few tears. So yeah, to be fair, I think I'm going to give it 5. I agree with the hype. I understand. Yes, clearly this was painful. You are following, yes, 2 sisters. One of them got married as soon as she could and has a baby whenever her husband is sent to the war. And then her little sister comes to live with her, at least at first. And she's 18. She's young. So she's kind of annoying at first. She's naive, but like, I appreciated her character's growth. And I knew early on, that she was going to play with, like, which sister is it? I'm not gonna, again, spoil it, but, like, she played with that throughout the novel, going back to 1995, and then, you know, during World War II. There's just a few random thoughts that I have, and since I have you there, I'm going to share them. I feel like sometimes it's the best part of a book, reviewing this, the random things that I think about while reading it, but a lot of the book is written in French. Or like words are inserted in French, and French is my first language, so might as well use it. The first random thought that I had, actually 3 of them are about names, which is like, I'm going to try to go quickly through it. First off, the 2 sisters are called Isabelle, and then the other one, Vianne, which I have never heard that name. I googled it. Obviously, this is set in France in 1930, so like, it could be, but like, I've literally never heard of that name. Viviane, yes, but Vianne, no. The last name is Rossignol, which I'm assuming that was the name of the French book, since Nightingale is Rossignol, so like that gives you a hint of what's going to happen throughout the war. The other random thought that I had, actually even Isabelle, like the nickname, someone calls her Is, which like that feels like an Anglophone nickname. Again, this is just based on my life history. I feel like everyone that is called Isabelle here, we would call her Isa, not Is, right? Again, feel free to comment depending on where you live. But the one that really stuck with me was Gaétan Dubois, which first off, in Quebec, Gaétan, we would write it with un accent aigu, not tréma. just a little thing. But he says, my friends call me this. First off, Gaetan is so short that nobody would need a nickname. Plus, my brain, when I read that, I don't read gay like Gaetan. No, I think Gaet, which is like not shorter or easier to say than Gaetan. And this one is the one I'm really curious. So if you speak French, am I crazy? Am I missing something? Is it, I don't know, but it really bugged me. It wasn't used very often in the book, so like it's fine, but like, really? Gay? Or Gaet? Honestly, I thought that the characters were still realistic, which I appreciated. Like, yes, Isabelle is young and, you know, she wants to make a difference throughout the story, which makes sense. And then the other one not being as courageous and feeling that she's more of a coward, I think is also a very realistic reaction in history. So again, I appreciated that. The author definitely liked to include a lot of French words here and there. Actually, if you have read anything else, not the English or French translation, I would be curious if she did the same thing. Which I thought it was funny that I've had that conversation with people in real life. Like, she was calling her dad Papa, which I also call my dad Papa. And I've had people ask me, apparently it's a white person thing, asking me if I call my parents by their first name. No, I call my dad Papa. Like, if I'm in a store and I have to yell for his attention, Papa. I don't care. No matter how old I get, it's still Papa. But yeah, she's calling her dad Papa, so it's like relatable. I feel like everything else is going to be a spoiler. It was just me reacting to what happens. I need to stop commenting on the names, but I feel like that's most of the thoughts that I had that were not spoilers. So it's one of those situations where I reluctantly, not really, have to agree with the hype. I do think it was really good. Yes, she laid it on really thickly, j'en ai beurre épais, but the difference between that and other books that I've read, at the same time that I bought this, I was seeing a lot All the Light We Cannot See and The Book Thief. And both of them, they were good books. I gave them like 3.5, but I just wasn't emotionally invested. And that's what I mean by like, I feel like a monster, because obviously it's sad, but I just didn't care because the writing style, it just didn't grab me. And clearly I am able to cry on the internet. But it just depends on the writing. And clearly Christinana, like I said, I had read one book by her and I had liked it, but the ending kind of left me a bit on the fence if I was going to read more by her. But now after this, I think I have no choice. So definitely leave me your recommendation. Should I choose The Women or The Four Winds? I think are two popular ones. Let me know. But at this point, even though I'm not a big historical reader, clearly I probably have to give it another shot. So reluctantly, I have to agree with the hype. No, honestly, there's no, I'm not reluctant to admitting that this is a 5-star. It's just, I don't like when a book hurts that much, you know? So that was the first one. I did start the other one, okay? Because again, I had some time. I needed some time after the other one. And I read until page 99. So like the first 100 pages. And the only thoughts that I have to hide my post-its sometimes because Claudia will just remove them, which is really annoying. She likes to eat plastic. Not even eat it, just play with it. And like these post-its are plastic. So I had hidden that one. Okay, I added one for this because I wanted to start by saying thank you to the author for including a summary of the previous book because, oh my gosh, I remembered most of the story. I was a bit surprised because it's been a couple years. But I needed it to remember who did what because the characters' names. Let me show you. This, no, that's like terms for the world because it's definitely one of those books that like high fantasy of like, you've heard that sound like, oh, they were in blah, 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 wearing blah, blah, blah. This is how you read the book, like literally. So you have the explanations and these are all the freaking characters. So I needed that reminder because my gosh, and a pronunciation guide because again, it's one of those fantasy books. I'm gonna say it took me until, again, I'm at page like 99. It took me until then to get back into the story. I think the writing was my issue with book one. I wasn't sure because again, it's been a little while, but there's just like, it feels very saccadé, which I'm gonna speak French all the freaking video now after reading too much French. It just felt very clunky, I guess, clunky. It just didn't flow. You know how sometimes you blink and you're like 30 pages in? Did not happen. I had to really focus because my eyes were just, I would do the motion but would not absorb anything. So I think that was my issue with the other book. At this point, again, 100 pages in, I'm back, but like it took me a little while. Otherwise, the only serious complaint, because there's an unserious one coming, is about something that I have no more patience for. I feel like the more you read, the more the pet peeves are easy to pinpoint, and that is absolutely one for me. So this is the second male author this year that has used a villain to talk about saggy breast, which, again, absolutely no patience now. Like, where are all the freaking monsters with the saggy balls? I want those descriptions, like, please. Specifically, in this case, they're called night hags. And I know someone in the comment section says, it's not that, it is always that freaking deep. I Googled it because I didn't know what the heck that was. And apparently it's not a thing the author came out with. It's a thing. These witches that are oh so ugly with saggy fucking breasts. Listen, do you see it? Do you see it? Sagging breasts. Please. Oh no, ugly witches. Anyway, I will say the series contains multiple complex female characters. So like, okay. But this still pisses me off because everything is that deep. Now, on the other end of the spectrum of seriousness, you know when an author loves to use certain expression or they create one for a certain book? I think you might have created, I've never read another book, and I've read a lot of fantasy, so I don't know. But instead of using mind, some of the characters say thought cage. So like he was thinking about this in his mind. No, he was thinking about this in his thought cage, which, okay. Is it bothering me? No. Am I counting? Yes. So far in the 100 pages, since I started counting, I might have missed one or two in the beginning, 6 times. Which, that doesn't sound that excessive in 100 pages, but I have 500 pages left and I will keep count because now I can't not notice it. So yeah, various degrees of, you know, things catching my eye. But at this point, I am curious with the storyline. Like, I'm really back to it. Not as invested as I would like, but the world building, to give you an idea, because I feel like it's the second book, but like it's a continuation. So in that world, 300 years ago, these giant, and I mean, look at the tiny people, these giant gods were in a war to kill each other off, and humanity, you know, calms down a bit, but they have left behind some of their like children, like people with their blood in their blood. Blood, yeah. And they have some kind of magical powers, so they are being enslaved. They're wearing these like, I don't remember what the term is, these collar, whatever, to control them. And it's been 300 years of, you know, enslavement and children being kidnapped to be enslaved. So you're following some of the characters trying to get back their children, and not everyone is on the same side. So I'm assuming eventually people are going to start dying in book 2. I mean, maybe this one, or at least definitely the next one. So yeah, this is what the plot is in general. And like I said, overall, I'm back into it, but I'm not 100% sold. So maybe that's why I gave book 1 4. We'll see if I agree with this one or not. And before I come back with the update, you better tell me in the comment section your guess of how many thought cages we're in, because I have a feeling we're definitely not done. But so far my week is going pretty well. I did appreciate the headache that I got after all those tears, but you know, it made me cry, so clearly it was worth the read. I think it's only the second time I've cried on the internet, so thanks. You owe me therapy. And like I said, give me a couple of days, I'm going to finish this, and hopefully I like it too. Actually, I have a lot of piles of books on my desk from book hauls and wrap-ups, so do you want to see me reorganize my shelves? That way you can sneak peek what's on there, what I need to read next. These are all my unread ones, which we're going through them this year for sure, but I like that we're starting to see holes in the ones I have read. I mean, you can see them now. We have to put some of these, actually, I think it's going to fit in the holes we've just made. There you go. I've heard so many good things about that one. I really want to read it ASAP, so we're gonna put it real close. There's literally no space for this unless I like shove it in here. It will have to do for now. And the hardcovers are not going to fit. I think we can safely move this one. We're going to put it here. That happened once and that was a fever dream. Now, I've read too many nonfictions this year. I'm always impressed when someone has really good looking shelves because I don't have the patience for it. If it were just me, I would just shove them all in there, which I guess that's kind of how they look. But every time I make them perfect, and then every time I read anything and bring them from the unread to the read, it's a mess again. Hopefully I'll get better with practice. I finally finished this book. I am so proud of myself because last year I tried to read a couple thick fantasy and I was in a slump. I could not finish them, so I did it. I'm very proud. I'm gonna show you baby one number 2, baby one, baby cat number 1. Listen, this is his toy. Yeah, I have to buy him these quite often because he just, how do you call that in English? In French we say éventrer, like gutting it. Yeah, that's getting, he licks it so like nobody else touches it. It's gross, but it's yours, don't worry. I come bearing gifts. Is it okay? Oh, there you go. There you, oh yeah, this is what he does to it. Oh my gosh. You can tell that one was outside. The cat, I mean. Yeah. You terrorized birds and mice. That's why there are holes in it. My gosh. Have you seen the size of his paws? He has no thumbs and they're huge anyway. You are a solid cat. I also have Chunk is looking at me like, what are you doing? And Charlie, Claudia's not here, which is weird because Claudia's always here. So the book, honestly, with these thick fantasy, often it feels like they're walking. That's all they're doing, fighting and walking the whole time. And that's exactly what the plot is for this one. looking for the kids, looking for the other people. They're looking to make a name for themselves, looking for the gods, maybe. I'm trying to be vague because it's book 2. But yeah, the whole book, I was thinking, it's fine. I'm not disliking it. If someone were to tell me that they love it, I would be like, fair enough. But I'm just not invested. And then the ending happened. Rude, because I was going to say, I like to use Bookshop. So like, if I find book 3 while use book shopping, I'll read it. If I don't, I just won't finish it. Like, it's not, you know, a deal breaker. I'm not like dying to know what happens. No, those are the strings of my PJs. You can't eat those, Chunk. So yeah, I wasn't dying to continue, and then the last sentence, literally the last sentence, rude. So I probably still will not be in a rush to continue, but I hated that last line. I'm just gonna say it. So otherwise, I forgot to ask you again. Do you want to guess how many thought cages there were in the book? 36. So I'm glad that I kept count because that is really funny. Is it something that bothered me? Again, not at all. But we did see the night hags a few times. There were no more saggy breasts, but I just wanted to give them a shout out because go girl. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna give it 4 again. Like, it's not a bad book. I just don't love it as everyone else seems to. So I guess I disagree with the hype for this one. I mean, for the context of this video, 4 stars is still a solid rating. Like, I enjoyed it enough to read over 600 pages, so like, can't be that bad. But I will say Nightingale was better for me. I like the writing better, and obviously maybe was a bit more emotionally invested. But listen, I have been on here for years, and it's only the second time I was caught crying on camera. So yeah, I guess 1 that I disagree, 1 that I agree. Pretty good. Again, if you want to see me reading the lowest rated ones that I've done, I'll put that on the screen. I still need to enter all of them on a shelf, and I'm going to do that again. Let me know if that's something you would like to see, but I think I'm going to do that because it was entertaining. Either way, it gets me to read books that have been on my shelf, bookcases, for years and years and years, and I would have not picked up anytime soon. So the more the better. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Let's find Claudia now. There's my pretty girl. Is that your belly? Are you showing me your belly? Rrr, rrr. This is how you know I traumatize my cats. Rrr, they don't even fight back. Pretty girl. You won't defend yourself at all? This is how you know they're spoiled rotten. Oh!